Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Peeni Henare.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, and if you'll indulge me to allow me to sing my lament, and I ask those who do know the words, however, remain seated in the House. E pato hau he weni raro, he ho mai aroha, ka tangi atu au I konei, he aroha ki te iwi, ka momotu ki tā whiti ki pā hae rau. Ko wai e ki te atu, kei whea ku hoai muara, I te tōnuitanga, ka hara mai tēnei kata au e he, ka rau nai ti aui. Kua papa te kakau o te hoi ki te hipapa o te wakati waiwai. Kua whakakiingia nei e te roi mata e te hupe. Kia hoi atu raha koe, ki Hawaii ki nui, Hawaii ki roa, Hawaii ki pāmamao. Kia whakapiki atu raha koe ki te whakamaunga kekete, e kekete mai ai te kekete, e ara mai ai te ara. Kua kōrero hia, tō whanaunga, tō tungane, I tō aranga ki runga I a pōhutu kawa ki te pō, ki te rangi. Ka tukuna atu tēnei uri o te taitokerau, I a koe, kia rehua ki te pō, kia rehua ki te rangi. Kia takahia atu rā koe I te ara wairua I takahia ai e o oku mātua, e oku tūpuna. Nō reire te tuahine e Takutai. Kua ngaru nui mai ki roto I tēnei whare. I ngaru roa, tō aroha ki runga I te motu whānui ki runga anō hoki I tō tāua kāinga o tā maki makaurau. Ka kore, o tapu ai e mōne nehu I te pō. Ko tapu ai roa, ka kitea mō ake, ake, ake. Ka whai whakaaro ake a hau ki o tamariki, ki o mokopuna. I te noho tahi māua, ki roto I te hui o matariki ki runga o takaparawhau. I karanga hia tāua e te tuahine I ngā ingoa o ngā mate kua tahuri atu ki te pō. Nā I te rānei ko tōtu ngāne tēnei e mea atu ana, e haere, e haere, e haere. E te māngai o te whare ka tautoko atu a hau I ngā kōrero a tōku tuakana a tama pōtaka I te rānei. Me te mōhio anō hoki, ko tēnei kapua pauri kua tau mai ki runga I tōnā ke whare. Nō reire e te tuakana, e mengi ana te kōrero o ku mātua tūpuna. Tukuna, tukuna o roimata, tukuna te hupe kia rere, kia māmāke te mamai e ngaukino nei I a koe, o tira, I a tātou. Nō reire e te whānau pani. Nā kua kōrero mai nā, te āhuatanga ki a koe tōku tuakana e tama pōtaka, ki tōku tuakana ki a Shannon Halbert, anā tahuri atu ki tōku hoarangatira. Kāti, ko ngā mana nui me ngā tapu nui o muaupoko, e tangi nei, e aue nei, tēnei kā tangi. Ka tahuri mai ngā kōrero ki a tātou, te hunga ora, tihei wā mauri ora. Ka kore au e takaroa I te āhuatanga o wēnei kōrero. Ko tāku atu ki aia, a taihoa tō haere. Ka tau te whare pāre mata ki runga I a koe, ka rongo mātau I tō kiri. Ka tau iho anō hoki ngā roi mata ki runga I tō wakati waiwai, kia tere atu rā koe ki te wāhi, I whakatau ki te ai e o tātou mātua, e o tātou tūpuna ki te pō. I te māngai o te whare, ka nui tēnei māku. Ka waiho nātu, ka whakairi ake waku kōrero ki te pātū o tō tātou whare, ka tiki nātu rā ki runga I ngā marae, ka tau tō tātou tuahine a Takutai, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou.
So I can provide an English translation for that waiata. Basically, it goes, show your cross to me, let it shine. There in the darkness, to there I will be looking. In life and death, let me rest in thee. So that's what he's saying.
Thank you, Laura.
I just thought I'd offer an English translation to those in the chat that don't know that song.
It was actually helpful for me too, because I didn't either.
Yeah.
That. But I see the point from the BFG podcast. I mean,
from Blake.
Yes, that's an immensely correct comment. I think when you think about it, that people are literally sacrificing their wealth of health and well-being for people. That's how dire straight it's coming. So to me, they must have known already what was coming with National and with Seymour. They must have known for a little while before really they came out and showed the whole world about it, because people are just actively throwing themselves kamikaze in front just to try and stop them from doing what they're doing to us.
Well, we saw it too with Nikki Kay. You know, she was in Parliament while fighting off breast cancer, and eventually she passed away. She succumbed to breast cancer. But yeah, she was, you know, John Key just told her to keep going to work. I don't know ethically how you can do that, but she did it. But yeah, we seem to have a very toxic work culture when it comes around illness in this country.
And this is one that I think really does push it. Now, in New Zealand, and it's like in Australia as well, the word by-election is the most taboo, touchy. People get outraged when they hear the word topic. And this will result in a by-election as well. So a lot of people will soldier on to finish their term to do that. And this doesn't just happen at a central government level. It also happens at local government level. Yep. It's quite common that people will push out, or they'll push out to just after that 12-month period to avoid the cost of a by-election, because people see the word by-election as an outrage in New Zealand. Even that in this type of situation, that is possibly could be appropriate. And I'd say that's associated with our short terms. So people soldier on because they sit down there. You know, it's one of those things that just seems to happen in New Zealand. Is we just, you know, we try to make it work even where we should possibly take an extended period of time off.
I think when it comes to old Māori on this issue, I think, and I'm just gonna throw a hypothesis out here. What I have seen in the Māori community, being a member myself, is that quite often, because we're so underrepresented, that we tend to push ourselves as far as we can to get as much representation out there. Because if we die, or if we get sick, or if we can't continue to work, who's going to fill that spot?
Yeah.
There's very few hands. Like I can't quite remember how the whakatauki goes, but many hands makes light work. But the problem is that, I mean, it's getting better year on year, right? We're getting more and more people that are coming up and learning how to do politics and learning economics and learning, learning these high skills. But yes, we have had a problem in the past of underrepresentation. I do wonder how much of that is playing a role in terms of how far Pacifica, because we saw it with Professor Collins as well, how far Pacifica and Māori are pushing themselves to get a job done.
Yeah, and here's something more from what Blake has just sat there and commented on there, that we seem to, as society, we seem to feel that we're obliged to go down this path. And this is also from Jamie here. We seem to be going down an American path instead of returning to traditional care. And that is true, because like health-wise, if you have to take time off work because of health-related issues, if you've got a good employer, they'll probably pay you. That happened to my friend Tony Ives when he had kidney failure. And it was a point before I met him along with his father, but he was working for Captain Cheeses at the time. I'm not sure if that was when Fonterra owned it or not, but Fonterra paid him his sick pay for the time frame he was waiting to go through on with the bits of dialysis, because he couldn't work full time when he was doing dialysis. He was lucky to have a dialysis machine at home, partly because he lived more than 50 kilometres away from Wellington Hospital, but partly to keep working. And and to get a dialysis machine at home.
But the thing is, Sam, they would have paid for her to go on leave. She already took leave for 6 weeks. Yeah. But I think that the issue here, and I'll try to explain it in another way, is that you know how people have immense pride in their work, or mana in their work?
Yeah.
So they feel like because they are they're carrying the weight of their community on their shoulders, or in the European context, carrying the weight of their family on their shoulders, you go to work to represent your community and you put your all into it. It is a bit of a mana thing going on as well.
Yeah. On that point about what's been there is the fact that we do not have ACC for illness. So that's why that's more what my point is saying. Like for Tony, his employer paid him wages. If he didn't get paid wages from his employer, he would have had to have gone on a sickness benefit, but at the same time, he had a partner who worked, which means he would have been completely left with no income.
Exactly. And that's the thought that I was coming to as well, Sam. I mean, this is a sad truth for a lot of people. If you're not working, then you don't have money. You don't have a house, you don't have warmth, you don't have electricity. So I think at any level in this country, that's another conundrum for us, is that there's so many people. I mean, only the super is the only income that's means tested. Nothing else is.
Isn't means tested. Yeah.
And that doesn't come into consideration. Like, let's take, like you're saying, Sam, someone who has got a terminal or unwell, and they've got 6 kids, and someone that's working. How can you compare that to someone who has 1? And say that that's exactly the same?
Yeah, when it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know many, I'd say, big number families where often one partner couldn't work because something would go wrong with one of the kids at least one of the days during the week.
Yes. And I mean, that's the same for student allowances. I mean, nothing compared to dialysis and what's happened here, but I'm just saying there is a regularity, or there's a consistency on not supporting people and not helping people. And it appears to me like people are making big measures to ensure that they're not there for people, which is causing, bringing in this euthanizing yourself sort of bill, all these other ones. It just, to me, it's just people are being treated as a liability in this country. And so
we're too quick to jump to the cost of liability, but we don't look at the long-term productiveness of what someone puts into the community.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. We see the liability immediately, but we don't see necessarily the asset or the earnings potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the detriment of people that we love, that actually care about us and are doing everything that they can.
Yeah. All right,